When I advise companies to put some extra people there during the cleaning time, they often think I've gone crazy and just try to increase costs. Bear with me. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And today's video, it is about adding extra people to save on costs or to improve your efficiency. Now, specifically, most of these examples are in changeovers and cleaning and things like that. It might also be the case during regular production, usually not, and also when it is during regular production, most often companies will find this balance, right? So if you know that adding an extra person onto your two-man crew will increase speed so much that you're basically spending fewer man hours, then most companies will do so. The fun thing comes in when you have, for instance, a 1 hour cleaning each day and 23 hours of production. So if you have the one person next to the line, they can run that line. So let's also have the one person clean that line. Now, how about we put two people there, and the cleaning time, it goes from 60 minutes to 40 minutes. We do, of course, have two people there, so the man hours increase. And most companies will tell me, if you're going to put an extra person at that line, round the clock, just to save 20 minutes, it's ridiculous. And I say, no. This extra person doesn't go there round the clock. We're not talking about adding an entire extra operator. Can you, during the cleaning, get somebody else there to help with the cleaning? Maybe the supervisor can do this. Maybe you have a different department, for instance, the assembly department, that can send somebody over. You don't have to train them fully as an operator. You have to train those people then to be able to clean or do specific tasks during the cleaning, as long as they help that main operator with the tasks that they can become quicker. It's difficult to plan. I know it is, but it is definitely possible. But then we get to this next thing. If we have two people that each spend 40 minutes there, and probably that second one has to spend 15 minutes getting over, 15 minutes getting back to their old job, so they're even spending a bit more time, but we're spending at least 80 minutes there, so we're not saving time at all, right? Or I say, well, let's go for 3 people, and we do it in half an hour. It's 90 minutes, it's even worse. But think of the rest of the line. Think of the benefits that might be there. Now, there is this wonderful little film. I will also link it on YouTube so you can see the whole thing, but it is about a comparison of the Indy 500 and the Formula 1 pit stops. And of course they had some rules back in the days, but you see how cringingly long it takes to change over that Indy 500 car in the pit stop, and then this Formula 1 pit stop team that does it in, well, I won't spoil it, but a lot faster. Now, that Formula 1 team, they had 23 people standing around it. In 500, only 4. 23 people standing there waiting most of the race just to do those couple of seconds of work. Is it worth? Are they completely crazy at the Ferrari team? No, they are not. They know that even shaving off those last tenths of seconds in a pit stop is going to be the difference between winning a race or not. And that difference, winning a race or being number 2, is a difference of $1 million or something like that, right? So they know that they will get this money back in droves. And that's why this is such a wonderful little video to really repeat it a couple of times. First, look at it yourself, but repeat it a couple of times with your colleagues, because all of the problems they see, you can probably explain, you can probably use as a wonderful way. So when I show this video to people in production, maintenance, and at companies all over, I get all kinds of things. But the technology has improved. Okay, so what technology would you need to improve the efficiency of the cleaning at our factory? They have so many more people. Okay, so where can you get the people from? That's very expensive. Do you think that Ferrari, has so many people because they have too much money? Or is it a real economic choice? What is the goal? The only goal of them in that race is to become number 1. That is the $1 million goal. So you can spend, even a couple $100,000 to make sure you get there. And then they start seeing it. And especially maintenance guys, they will say, oh yeah, but that's gold-plated maintenance. Well, if your lines and your processes are bringing in a lot of money, you can spend more on maintenance. Now, I will say this one line that runs for 2 odd shifts in a week, you got plenty of time to do all kinds of maintenance before and after that, and you can also, if a production run fails, just do it again tomorrow. That line does not deserve Formula One type pit stops. But your critical line that is already capacity constrained, that already runs 24/7, and that actually has even more market demand, if you can squeeze out some extra production there, that is going to generate a lot of money. And let your finance team help you with that, how much money it actually is. But you will see that spending a bit more time during a cleaning, during a changeover, it's going to be no problem. They are all in favor of it. It just requires flexibility from your production team, from your personnel planning, so to say. It requires you to organize yourself better, but hey, that is what's going to give you a competitive edge. So what if we have a line, and when we check the total line, our machine is the bottleneck, right? The rest of the line can do all their stuff in about 15 minutes or so. They can get everything changed over. It's mostly manual stuff, or it doesn't really need so much cleaning or whatever, right? So we've got the bottleneck here with the cleaning. Very simple example. I don't even assume that the product goes bad or we really need the extra output. We just have a line where there's a couple of machines around it, a bit of assembly and packaging, and on the total line, so I'm not talking about this machine that we're cleaning, the total line has 5 people. So we've got 5 people times 60 minutes, or 6 people times 40, or 7 people times 30. Hey, actually our total time is going down. Interesting, eh? So by spending a bit more, because we reduce everybody's time, since this is a bottleneck, it's already great. But now let me discuss a practical example where we did this, and this was in a whey drying tower. Now, whey is that liquid that comes off cheese, but whey has a lot of sugar in it still, lactose from the milk. It also has the bacteria in it that are used to make the cheese. So this is a very bioactive substance. And when you make cheese, you get whey as well. You need to do something with the whey. It's not even allowed to just flush it down the drain in most countries because there is so much organic matter in there. But apart from that, it's a waste because it's a nice material. Now, we had this on-site whey drying tower, and it would first concentrate the liquid whey, then really thicken it up into almost sort of a paste that would go through the spray dryer. The spray dryer, when cleaning it, which was needed every about 1.5 days with that tower, and for those in the industry, yes, I know that was a lot, but with an old anhydrous tower, we would spend about 2 hours to clean it. A lot of manual work all around it. You need to cool down the tower a bit and then do all kinds of things inside as well. And there is some piping around it. So there's a whole bunch of different things that needed to be cleaned. And it was the one operator doing that. We then had trouble with the capacity of this line. We needed to clean it well, but also get it done, because actually what was happening is that during the time that we were cleaning, this sort of concentrated whey and the fresh whey as well, they were all acidifying. And when we were at the peak of cheese production, we had more whey almost than we could dry. So this was all acidifying, and as soon as it becomes acid, you cannot really dry it anymore. I did make a video on this before where we also went for when to sell, but this is a really lower cost, but selling a part based on the predictions just to get rid of this over acidification. But the other thing we did was we made sure that we could clean a lot faster. And we discovered that a couple of things could be prepped in advance, but you just need to clean when the tower is down. But what we did is we got in 2 people from a totally different department. They were not the drying tower operators at all. They would normally not even work in the same department. They were just operators that worked in a totally different department. But I mean, they are trained as operators. They have a basic understanding of machinery and how things work, and we could quickly teach them how to do specific cleaning tasks around this wave dryer. And we would just, when it was about to go down for cleaning, about 20 minutes before it would shut down, the operator would call the supervisor of the other department. They would free up the two people, they would move over. And by that, we can get the cleaning done in about 45-50 minutes. So we definitely spent more people time on the cleaning, but we got over an hour back of cleaning each day, which is such a nice boost in productivity that we could actually get ahead of the way that needed to be dried, because this snowballed into the whey being a bit fresher, meaning that it would dry much easier, the speed of the tower picking up. In the end, that was just a win-win business case. It was wonderful because we had, I would say, the courage to really change up the organization. We were drawing in people from a different department under a different manager, but well, the one factory was the total factory goal to make sure that everything is working. That whey dryer did not need 3 operators there at any time. That would have been a waste of personnel. But during this high intensity cleaning moment, we did need them. So we trained them, we organized that they would go there when needed. We didn't have a lot of such lines, so we could not make a dedicated cleaning team who would sort of go around the factory. No, these were just people that got a completely different task added on top of their normal work. That work would stop for them. They had a couple of flexible lines and the process continued. But anyway, basically where they worked stopped for that hour, but it made the whole factory so much more efficient. So think about not just the cost of extra people, but also the cost of not doing this. Now I know it's a very simple concept. It should not have required a video, but I see in practice that it does. This is not a step many companies take on their own. So I hope I have inspired you to take a good look at peak moments during your processes, peak operator time sinks, and just open up your mind in, can I help the overall process by just adding 1 or 2 people during a short amount of time? And I know it's a whole organization together. Believe me, I know, I did it. But it is very often worth it. So go and check your processes again and use this to speed up specifically changeovers. These are almost always high intensity parts of the total process time. Cleaning, die changes, maybe you actually need a second person to normally lift things. How do you organize this? How can you make it that during the most intensive period of work on a line, you can fly in 2, 3, 4 extra people? Think Formula 1, 23 people, apparently it's worth it. So if you like that comparison, don't forget to hit that like button and drop any suggestions, questions into the comments below. I love bouncing off your ideas to make new videos. For now though, I wish you the best of luck putting people in the correct place. It sounds so nasty, but putting people where you need them, making sure that your whole factory, all of your processes are blooming. And also, don't forget to enjoy that continuous improvement journey.